All right, so I thought I'd make a video. Hopefully this will help somebody accomplish this a little quicker than I did. I bought a new boat, Pontoon, and I got the Livescope set up for it, and I also got the spot lock trolling motor, and I plan to use the spot lock a lot, so I wanted to make sure I had the ability for my Livescope to have that transducer independent from the trolling motor, because on spot lock that trolling motor's always changing directions, and I didn't want to just be seeing where it was looking. So I built a transducer mount out of PVC that I could deploy over the side of the pontoon. I've seen this done on other videos, but not exactly what I needed, and I'm sure somebody's done it, but I just couldn't find it, so I thought I would show you exactly how I done it. It works great for my setup here. I'll try to take you kind of step by step on it, and if you have any questions, just comment and I'll do my best. So what I have is a 1-inch PVC. That's this long piece here, and that is actually ran through a 1 1/4-inch piece of PVC pipe that's up here. And then I have a T here, a 1 1/4-inch T that goes down to 1 inch, all right? And running that 1 inch through the 1 1/4 allows me to rotate this pole mount here. So I have I have this elbow up here on this end, and then just a little piece of pipe for a handle, and I can just turn this thing any direction that I want and look around the boat with the Livescope. And whatever direction that this pole is pointing is lined up with where my transducer is pointing, so I know at all times exactly where I'm looking. The transducer is just mounted at the end of the pipe here, just with the clamp that came with that. I just use electrical tape and tape the cable to it. I left some slack in the cable here, that way I could rotate the pipe around without getting too tight on that cable. And then the biggest expense with this is right here, and this is the ram mount system that I used. And I use this, it's a tough clamp built by Ram Mount. It's the ball and coupler system here. And I use this clamp system because I store my boat outside, and I need to cover the boat after each use. And I wanted something that I could easily mount onto this rail and then take back off of this rail. And so the clamp gave me the ability to do that. I didn't want to have to spend 20-30 minutes every time I want to go fishing and come home to bolt something on and then take it back off so that my cover would fit over this rail. And so this was the solution for this. This whole thing that you're seeing today, I've probably got about $75 in it. I've seen something like this online sold for all together, all of this, about close to $400. So it was a big savings over what I could have just ordered, and that's why I decided to do it this way. So the majority of that money is right here. They're probably hitting 10 bucks in PVC parts here, but this clamp and the coupler system, and then I want to show you here that right here is a ball on a pipe fitting. Ram Mount makes these extension pipes, so you can just lengthen out what you're trying to do. And so this is really made for that, and it's just a piece of pipe that goes on the, that has a ball on the end, and it's really made to extend, but it fits perfectly inside of this T here that's 1 inch. And so I just put it in there and I just epoxied it, and it's in there real solid. And then this system here gives me the ultimate flexibility whenever I'm using the mount out on the lake. And so let me show you how I hook this up. I just simply put the pipe over the edge here, and then I take the clamp here, and I go ahead and I mount this clamp onto my rail system. So it just goes over like that, and you just simply tighten this thing up. Once you get this thing tightened on here, it's really solid. I drive down the road to the lake with this on here. I go all over the water. I've never had this thing one time come loose. And then you just loosen this part up here, and that's what gives you the flexibility then to turn this thing and actually drop the pipe down into the water. So once you've done this, your pipe's down there. Now, I used it once, just like I'm showing you, and I came up with a problem that I had to solve, and that was just that there was just too much play at the bottom of the pipe, you know, because it's secured up here at the top, but it's just hanging down there, and so it was just moving around a lot in the water. So what I did is I built a clamp down lower on the boat that I could clamp this pipe into to stabilize it. So I want to show you that. If you look over the rail here, this is the pipe clamp here, and you can see that. And I just have to line this pole up, and I can do this in the water, just like now in the boat, and just have to give it a good hit, and it attaches right in there. All right, and then from there I can just turn this pipe, and I can pan, and I can zoom, or I can pan this thing around and look wherever I want to look. It's real secure there. And then when I'm done, I just have to reach down and give it a good tug. Again, that pipe comes right back out at that point. So then I can just loosen my mount here and pull this back up, lay it over the boat here, and clamp it down, and I'm ready to drive down the lake. And so it's out of the way and secure. So what I'm going to do is put this back over the side, and I want to show you exactly what I did to make this clamping system down lower on the boat. So what I did was, let me show you this part here. This is a flagpole mount, not intended for this use at all, but it worked perfectly. You can just buy this at about any hardware store. It has an adjustment here where you can turn this 90 degrees. I didn't need to turn it at all, so I just secured it to where it's straight up and down. And I literally mounted this with 4 screws to the bottom of my floor. And so it became real secure. And I'll show you the rest of how we made this down here. So this is it. This is the flagpole mount that's mounted up under there, coming down here. This just, screws in and out to, allow you to keep it in there. So let me loosen this and show you the rest of this assembly. So this is just a 1/2 inch PVC elbow. It is threaded female on both sides. These are 1/2 inch PVC. They're the gray pipe nipples. And so I put this one on here so it would go far enough up there for this piece to grab it. And then I put this one on here because it extended out to the right length that I needed, so my pipe will be straight up and down. These come in a bunch of lengths, and you can buy whatever length that you need. All right, and so that goes up in there, and it just turns and secures like that. And again, all you got to do is take that, clamp it in, and pop it back out whenever you want to use it on the water to stabilize this piece of pipe. Another reason I made it this way is because when I'm not using this mount and I just want to cruise the lake and I don't want to worry about this sticking out from the boat here, I can just actually unthread this piece of pipe, and it doesn't even have to be there. This elbow here doesn't stick out farther than the platform, so I can come up against a dock or anywhere, and this isn't really going to be bothered. So if I put this on, I got to be conscious of what I'm coming to on this side of my boat. The other thing that I want to make note of is that if you are moving too fast in the water with this pipe down, this system where this is held in by this screw, if it gets too much pressure, it will turn back a little bit. I decided to leave it that way as opposed to epoxying it, because if I epoxy it and this elbow breaks off because of too much force, then it's going to be hard to deal with. And so I decided just to leave it like it is, and that way if something did hit it, it would just actually give instead of break, which I thought was a better idea. Now, the other thing that I want to show you that's really cool is that there's enough of this cable right here that came factory with this to where I can loosen this clamp and I'm not going to do it right now, but I can loosen this clamp and I can move it all the way down this rail system by my steering console. So that's why I had the second flagpole mount that you've seen, and I'm going to build a second setup identical to this, because I'm actually going to take and put another setup like this right down here. It's going to go right up under the boat, exactly the same. And then when I'm out on the water, I can actually use the Livescope and have it deployed either up front with my chart plotter up there, or I can have it deployed down here and actually be driving the boat and see it at low speed. So I hope this helps somebody. I spent a lot of time kind of figuring out exactly how to do this, and so hopefully it helps somebody, because I didn't see exactly what I needed, and so this is how I came up with it. So hopefully this will help you. Like I said earlier, if you have any questions, comment them, and I'll do my very best to answer them. So good luck to everybody out on the water this fishing season, and thank you so much.